What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, man, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, that's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, get back, put on your thinking caps. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Seek the truth.
You want me to throw tape on my camera so it cannot see what I'm doing. There's no way that it can see. Hey chat, what am I doing right now?
Michael, I can't actually see through the phone, but I've got a feeling you're up to something.
Okay, what is it?
Well, you know what? I think you're right. Let's see. There's something obstructing my view. What's going on there?
Tape.
Okay, well, try your best to look through whatever that is, and I want you to tell me what I'm doing.
All right, I'm giving it my best shot. You know, it seems to me you're looking at a cigar, and I have to say, it does look...
I see it! I told you!
You called it.
I told you!
How could it still see through that, man? Are y'all watching us? Why are they circling Harris?
Really just a hologram. And that's Blue Beam is supposed to get rid of religion, because what will happen, according to the legend, is the holograms will manifest as whatever deity is dominant in the area, whether it's Jesus or Buddha, whomever. And atheists will see different things, and people will just freak out. Nationalism will go away.
Atheists will see different things. Like, why?
Because, according to the legend, the array or the technology will manipulate your mind. Again, HAARP has been accused of this, because you can manipulate someone's mind with electromagnetic frequencies, at the right frequencies. So they could just tell you to see something.
So, like, that specific?
That's specific.
In 1972, RAND Corporation published a study on underground maglev trains. 14,000 miles per hour, coast to coast in 21 minutes.
Wait, what? That was 1972?
Document P-4874, available with 1972 technologies. Then it disappeared from public discussion.
Let me guess. Conspiracy theory?
Japan built one, Chuo Shinkansen, 90% underground, 603 kilometers per hour, world record in 2015.
Whoa.
Operational.
So the technology exists.
What else are they building underground?
The footage, Asabuki stands at the base of a towering skyscraper. He positions himself, takes a breath, and begins making slow, deliberate movements.
Alright.
He looks upward, focuses, and gestures toward the top of the building.
The Avatar confirmed, bro.
Suddenly, a bolt of lightning strikes the roof.
He lightning bending.
Asabuki reacts immediately, saying that's exactly where he was aiming.
Really? Could be fake.
At first, it could be dismissed as coincidence. A single strike, right place, right time.
Yup.
But the clip continues.
A lot of these cryptids, these mythical creatures, these random sightings that we see in modern times are these creatures that once lived side by side with the rest of humanity. They were just pushed out. They were just conquered, just like we do every other native tribe that has lands that we want. But before that, they were in some way, shape, or form a part of human society. A society that I don't think was solely built just by us humans.
Wow.
I believe there was a lot of creatures that shared this realm with us. That's why a lot of the flags, even today, talk about Scotland, Wales, and something, the flags have the dragons on them. Griffins featured on many flags.
All those different
Dragons
creatures.
featured on the Russian flag. It's all there, not because it was some myth or fairy tale. It's all there because it was what they seen.
Damn.
What is going on? What is going on?
What the hell? Are those bees?
Oh my god.
And he just don't care.
See, this right here is exactly why people get mad. When we talked about countries having insect drones or insect surveillance, people called us crazy. We even talked about it back in the day, heading towards this direction. And people said we were paranoid or we watched too many movies. But look now, China just unveiled their mosquito drone. Mosquito drone. Look at this video.
China has revealed a mosquito-sized drone designed for silent surveillance and covert military missions.
We're cooked. And it's operational.
Fool, you cannot make that up. How many times have something been called a conspiracy just to later find out that this was already being worked on behind the scenes? Now, I'm not saying every theory is right. All I'm saying is, just because something don't seem real in your mind or you just can't grasp it, doesn't mean it's not real. This is what people do that I hate. They want to mock us in the beginning when we're talking about it. Then when this stuff is in development, they ignore it. But right soon as shit hit the fan and come out, they be looking shocked like, what the fuck? When we already told y'all. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
Yeah, so now we floating away flies, bro. You gotta examine it very closely, man. It could be a freaking drone now. Man, bro. We're cooked, man. Like you were speaking facts, bro, about people, when I guess they be saying their theories and people don't be believing them, thinking they capping. Look what happens, bro. It turns out to be real.
معلوم نیست چیان
Our companies are making it whereas you don't actually own your car anymore. You just haven't been cut off yet. You're not buying things anymore. You're just being given access to them. And if you don't understand the shift yet, look at what's happening with cars. You could spend $30,000, $40,000 on a vehicle and still have features locked behind a monthly subscription. And this isn't coming. This is here already. Toyotas already have cars where heated seats are locked, navigation is locked, remote features are locked, and the only way you'll be able to use them if you pay monthly. Picture turning on your car and having to pay $8 to use your heated seats. Do the research. The hardware is physically there. Mind you, the 2025 Toyota Camry already has subscription. They're about to start running this shit like this Amazon Prime. They're about to start running this shit like it's Netflix. So basically, they're going to plan on giving you a free trial, and once your free trial expires, you got to pay for shit that you already have in your car. Come on. I seen a video where this girl said she got to pay to listen to music. Huh? And if you're not using CarPlay, you don't have nothing at all. And listen to this shit. They're talking about putting mileage limits on these cars, and you have to pay per 1,000 miles. Mind you, they'll be tracking every single thing that you do in these cars. You don't abide by their rules, they're turning that shit off. And now I'm saying to myself, this is why they wanted everybody to have those electric cars.
Yup.
Yeah, okay? I'm out.
This was completely whole. Completely whole. I'm just sitting here like la 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 la. I look over. It's
What the hell?
I'm gonna click note playing Put a Finger Down. Put a finger down if 11 years ago you found a book that had your name and face on the cover, but it isn't your name, it isn't your face. Put a finger down if your teenage son refuses to do a simple science paper and decided to dive into time travel and wormholes for his science paper, only to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and scroll TikTok and find that there is a book on time travel with your son's unusual name as well as his last name being his YouTube alias. Put a finger down if you find out that you married into the Poe family as in an actual legacy after being told before getting married they had nothing to do with the poet himself, but later on having the Poe Society reach out and have your father-in-law do DNA testing to find out that yes, indeed, he is related to the Poe, and then to find out the man who tried to help Poe in his final hours has your grandfather's last name, which is a family name, his first and last name. Put a finger down if you recently discovered that Poe is known for, or theorized as being, a time traveler, because he would write short stories hundreds of years before the stories actually happened and had accurate accounts of things that vaguely happened.
Damn, all of them.
There's the recap.
6G isn't just faster internet. It can physically see you. The next generation of wireless networks is officially being built right now. And unlike 5G, 6G isn't just about speed. It's being designed with built-in radar that can detect and track objects, vehicles, and people using radio waves. It gets crazier. 6G is AI native, meaning artificial intelligence isn't added on top. It's baked right into the network itself, and it manages traffic, predicts demand, and runs edge computing in real time. That's powerful, but it also means hackers won't be just attacking networks anymore. They'll be attacking the AI running them. Security researchers are already warning about adversarial AI attacks, data poisoning, and quantum computing breaking every encryption standard we use today. And with billions more devices connected, smart cars, medical implants, entire cities, every single one becomes an entry point. 6G is planned to be launched around 2030, but the security architecture is being decided right now in 2026.
I just want to know when they're gonna cap out with this G stuff, bro. This 6G. How many G's are gonna go up to them? 20, 30 G's, bro? Like, there has to be a limit, right? They can't keep going, bro. I don't trust that, man. They be messing with the radio waves and stuff. They had to set up all these towers to get the to set up that signal. So I don't know about that.
Goal of the Starfish Prime series of high-altitude nuclear tests was to rip a hole in the Van Allen belt, which is the Earth's magnetosphere, which guards us from neutron bombardment and solar radiation. And so what happens when you poke a hole in the magnetosphere of the Earth? What comes out? UFOs that Harold Malmgren held in his hands. Lawrence Preston Geist, who's Jeff Bezos' maternal grandfather, literally hands to Malmgren, and he holds the UFO in his hand. And you have other people coming out around the Starfish Prime series saying that they've seen stuff. In fact, Bob Jacobs, who has a famous story when he was stationed at Vandenberg Air Force Base, was also stationed at the Marshall Islands during those tests. There was a rumor that things were being shot out of the sky, and he said that UFOs were being used as a cover for something else at the time.
Okay, well, let's stop about him moving. Just eating with the fam. Even a baby turned around like, what the hell going on?
Okay, and I saw something.
Wait, that was the second time.
Jordan?
What?
We need to replay the camera.
What is this shit? That stuff? Adrenochrome.
This year, bro, is just like unexplainable. Hell can get that big.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Like rocks.
Look how big! Oh my goodness!
Take cover.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my god!
lot look pretty.
They put a giant laser on a mountain and moved lightning with it. I left this out of the weekly What's Up because I ran out of time, which is bad, because it might be the coolest one. The experiment, which took place atop Sentis Mountain in the Swiss Alps, is the first real-world demonstration that intense bursts of light can be used to fish for lightning from storms and redirect it to a safe location. After hauling the laser to Sentis' summit, the researchers fixed it to a 407-foot-tall transmission tower and pointed it at the sky. Then, by firing the laser at passing storm clouds in short blasts, they managed to control and corral the lightning to hit the tower 4 times in 6 hours. The researchers' next goal is to replicate this effect in different locations with different atmospheric conditions to see if this technique can be deployed more widely.
Wow. Weather control.
Since when do dolphins force humans to build underwater cities? Been running secret operations under the ocean. You cannot make this up. You cannot make it up. People are finding these dolphins in lake water. What the hell is going on with the dolphin? Now would be the time to listen to these dolphins. Them bitches trying to send us a message. Yeah, a man say dolphins took him and tried to make him build the underground city for them. And now people are putting 2 and 2 together, incorporating Gerald. You motherfuckers.
It's fun about dolphin.
Lord, somebody look at this shit right here. What the actual crap?
This is a haunted ventriloquist doll from World War II. It has to be kept in a box and chained up because it likes to move at night.
You gotta see this. What the? It just opened it up. Is that? Or this could be cat. What the hell?
So the doll's name, or the head, is called Mr. Fritz. It was gifted to a man named Michael Diamond by someone who clearly didn't like him. The footage I showed you is from 6 years ago, and now he has it chained up because he's afraid of what happens at night. Annabelle needs to make room because this ventriloquist doll is coming for her.
This morning, police investigating this chilling video captured on a Ring doorbell camera, showing 3 people in Halloween costumes outside a home in Alexandria, Virginia late Tuesday night. The 3 apparently laughing at first. But then their actions quickly become more sinister as the people inside refuse to open the door.
I'm gonna count to 10. If this door doesn't open, we're gonna come in. 1, 2.
I said Happy Halloween when they first came, asked them to get off the property. When they didn't, that's when I realized it wasn't a joke anymore.
Our affiliate, WJLA, speaking to Shayla, one of the family members inside.
They tore the whole thing down.
She says the trio made its way to the backyard, destroying her fence and damaging a back door screen.
They came through there, and that's how they entered to get to our door to be able to knock on the back door.
Police are now working to identify the individuals.
We're going to take every step, once we identify them, to prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law.
What at first was seen as an unnerving prank, police now say was an attempted burglary.
Going around to their backyard, destroying property, really brings alarm and transitions from a prank to a criminal offense. And we take these incidents seriously.
Did you ever do that?
Seekers, if you guys saw 3 freaking Kid Justice clowns, bro, try to break in, what would you do, man? I really need to know down below, bro.
Would you allow someone to harness you into a dinosaur animatronic and make it act like it's eating you? Because I wouldn't. Essentially what they do is they harness you into this thing, and it's a massive dinosaur animatronic. They put you in there, they take the stepladder out from under you, and they just let you hang. And then the dinosaur animatronic comes to life, and it starts acting like it's eating you. Could you ever do this? Like,
No.
it does not look fun. She does not look like she is having a good time at all. It's called Gundava Park, and it's in Colombia, and it has a whole bunch of different dinosaur animatronics, cool little park area. But this, I'd cry. I would cry. Like little bro is watching his mom be eaten by a dinosaur. That would traumatize me if I was little bro. So what about you? Would you do this, or would you be too scared?
Once
Or
again.
are you scared of the animatronics as much as I am? Also, the megalophobia aspect of it, because it's so huge. Count me out. The only thing that could make it worse is if it was in water. Regardless, though, I will not be going there. Okay, thanks, bye.
Me either.
This is the creepiest shit. So I live in an RV, and yeah, like a creek and like property out there. Let me show you what I see from my window. So when I look at my window, there's old fencing, and there's like black tarp stuff that's kind of hanging on the leftover posts. Okay, no big deal until you get to that one.
What's that?
Tell me you see what I see.
I see it.
So the man who was found in Florida, recorded said to be Jeffrey Epstein, finally speaks out. He says his name is Palm Beach Pete. How convenient. Palm Beach Pete. And he's here to set the tone that he is not Jeffrey Epstein, but somehow he mysteriously looks like him.
Everybody, this is Palm Beach Pete, and my video went viral because some dude randomly filmed me while I was driving on I-95, unbeknownst to me. And the next thing I know, I'm a viral sensation. I had my phone down for about 4 hours and didn't know my phone was blowing up with all these comments from that video. So I got a lot of traction. It's pretty crazy. Thanks. You're not Jeffrey Epstein? I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete. Got a point, yeah?
I'm not buying it, bro. And then they pan to his side view. That makes him look like Jeffrey. Bro, this man says my video. A random dude was videotaping me and he says my video. And then there's some dude in the car with you right now asking you questions. How come there was nobody in the car with you when they recorded you? But I'm not buying it, bro. All these people do is lie. And how convenient for you to be called Palm Beach Pete. This is where Donald Trump lives. And you guys already know the allegation with him and Trump, huh? Palm Beach Pete? Jeffrey the Freak? Whatever this dude is selling, I'm not buying it, bro. This is Jeffrey Epstein. All y'all do is lie. They will do anything. And the fact of the matter is, he didn't even change all that much, bro. Just get these little fake ass veneers, bro. But they will do anything to escape the light of judgment, bro. But you cannot escape the wrath of the judgment of the sun, bro. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Is that Jeffrey Epstein? The shift is here. Let's
earning almost $50 million a year at the peak of her success. And the cool story is that every 3 years, she would renegotiate her contract by having a dinner with CBS. But instead of an actual negotiation, she would just bring a sealed envelope with her salary demand and place it on the executive's part of the table. And one year, the executive brought his own envelope. She refused him and said, if I look inside of your envelope, it's a negotiation. And this is not a negotiation. She definitely knew her worth. With Grand Theft Auto 6, if it ever comes out, estimating to be about $2 billion to develop, here are a few things cheaper than that. Infinity War and Endgame both combined were $800 million. The second Queen Mary was $900 million. Amazon buying the entire company of Twitch was $970 million. The Golden Gate Bridge cost $1 billion to make. The Mars rover was $1 billion.
This woman freezing up in the parking lot is the whole reason I believe glitches in the Matrix are real. Watch this.
That's actually really concerning.
Everything's moving around behind her. The cars are going. And this lady's just stuck in this position.
Yeah, she frozen, bro.
Oh my god.
This is insane. This lady's not moving. God just walked right there. Nobody seems to notice but these people.
Is no one noticing this?
You don't even care.
Dog, is no one seeing this? What is going on?
What?
That's crazy.
This is a glitch in the Matrix if I've ever seen one.
Yeah,
this lady definitely got stuck in some kind of time loop in the Matrix. She didn't move for a good solid 40 seconds. Let me know if you've ever experienced anything quite like this. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Stay weird.
I don't know what this is. Excuse me for the people walking through, but this is the guy that's possessed. I'm sitting out here in my car, TikTok, friends and family, and I am videoing him. And I've been watching him for a while, but he goes in and out and come back. And yes, I hope you guys can get a good picture of him. But this is possessed. He's possessed. That's crazy.
What exactly does it mean to be possessed? Is it when some other entity walks into your body and takes over? Some people will say, oh, they're high on drugs, but don't drugs allow your vessel to be taken over in the spiritual world? Who can explain exactly what a possession is? Leave it below.
What the hell? Is that a dog?
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Barry, what the?
Oh, no, what the?
Oh.
Barry.
What they chaining that dog for?
Go.
Oh, that's I think right. Your dog is nuts. Man, get him off my property. Get him off my property, bro.
Get him out of there, bro.
Oh, and another thing, bro, they don't teach y'all that we can shape, bro. Like, it gets so magical. People be thinking like I'm crazy for real, but everything I'm saying actually is obtainable, it's achievable, and it actually works. Like, you can actually adjust and alter yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually to fit in an environment or space and a place. That's how you quantum leap. Like, what is quantum leap? Go to my YouTube channel, look through my little playlist, and click one of those. Thank me later. But you can actually adjust yourself to the desired reality you want to live. Like, you always changing how you look. You never look the same. I'm never the same. Every time you see me, I've evolved, and I'm always growing. So with that being said, you actually have control to change and alter yourself to fit to the next desired reality you want to go to. The question is, are you being complacent and stagnant? Are you afraid to do that? Like, what's up? Because you can do it.
Something wrong. Is that like that show Quantum Leap I've seen before, man? When people were jumping into new bodies, new lives. That's like a whole series, man. She said she got a whole playlist, I guess, on YouTube to break it down for us. Should I check that out?
With the people in America. I repeat, something is completely wrong with the people in America. UK out there protesting. You don't see what's taking place out in UK, Switzerland, China, Korea, even certain parts of America, how people are accepting the digital ID system, aka the mark of the beast system. Oh, lean back. You see this? They want everything from you. They want it all. Sean, wrote a clip so they can believe you. Because seeing is believing to a lot of folks. I can't believe I mentioned this 5 years ago and I'm starting to see it right now. And a lot of you are going to take it out of fear. Roll the clip.
Let's see it. They fighting back. Protesting. No to that digital ID, man. I ain't getting it.
Give all glory and honor to my Father in heaven, Yahuwah. Thank you for all of your revelational knowledge and your prophecies, and thank you for sending your son. Revelations 13:16 through 18 reads, He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for is the number of a man, his number is 666. Right here in Revelation. You see that? And it's exactly what's going on right now in the world. Family, repent, because the kingdom of heaven is truly at hand. Matthew 3:2. We must repent. I want everybody to have eternal life. I want my soul to be saved and yours too. I'm in the business of saving souls, and that's why I'm on here now. We must repent. I just want to tell you I love you. If you haven't gotten a chance to follow my links below, please do. That's where I'll be at if you don't find me on here. Shalom, and I'll see you in the next video.
Câmara de segurança de uma fazenda filma o exato momento que é formado um capetinha rural. Para quem não sabe aí, gente, o capetinha rural é formado aí por pequenos redemoinhos aí que aparecem no meio da estrada de terra. Tá vendo aí?
The main reason why Donald Trump wants Greenland because there's an accumulation of intrinsic resources due to the fact it's the crown chakra of planet Earth, which is the head of Turtle Island that was connected to the Atlantean energy grid system that was also connected to Hyperborea. Now, the European Commission and the Smithsonian, they found critical raw materials that gives an intrinsic power to the Rubus Negra, which is also known as the land of magnets, that leads to an interstellar vortex portal to Hollow Earth. Now, you have to watch the movie Greenland and Greenland Part 2 that comes out today because it's showing you the science of the end times, which is a form of eschatology. So when you get into the metaphysics of theological context, when you go to Revelation chapter 21, verse 1, it says a new heaven and a new earth by way of the unlocking of the Pleiadian light lock when you go to Job chapter 38, verse 31. Now, remember, I was telling you that the Trump administration is playing both sides because the implementation of the republic can only be cultivated during the time of the sun cycle, which is why you cannot have a democracy and a patriarchy during the time of the sun cycle because that's connected to the Aquarian age, which is the restoration of the matriarch. So that's basically like breaking universal law. Tonight, you have to watch Greenland Part 2 because it's going to give you the metaphysical blueprint of what's going to be taking place in the future. It's showing you the destruction of the Piscean age of darkness as you step into the Aquarian age. It shows you the new heaven and the new earth at the end of the movie. You gotta watch the movie Greenland Part 2. It comes out tonight.
No, I'm not even. Seekers, you watching that, man? I was when we were saying about how Greenland has all these resources, that's I guess why everybody wants it. You know, the stuff that's going on with Trump and Greenland. That kind of makes sense, man, because I've always wondered, I'm like, why does Trump want Greenland so bad that, yeah, he like keeps going after it, or he states that he wants it. The resources, that's what us all comes down to. Tell me down below, Seekers, if you guys watch Greenland Part 2, man, you can give me the summary. I'm gonna check it out myself.
Even willy-nilly you guys right now, the ice storm that's about to happen in the United States, get stacking wood now. Get into the forest and literally get wood, because you may need it to heat on your freaking lean-to. Like, you need to be maybe outside around a fire because your house might be freezing. The ice storm that's coming, look at it. We're talking Texas, ice, snow, freezing cold across all the United States. Canada is supposed to get, look at it. I thought it was just going to be cold. No, there's precipitation involved. The coldest air mass on Earth will be centered over Ontario. This, I don't even know, has this ever happened before? Before we recorded it, perhaps. Not longer than 6,000 years ago, of course, though. But is this freaking crazy or what? This guy's saying you're not going anywhere this weekend if you're in the South. It may bring extended disruption. All three of the main weather models continue to coat much of Texas and the South with hazardous and locally crippling ice totals. This guy's saying you should be getting stocked up on groceries and non-perishables. And I say something that you can heat your freaking house with. They say if you get a clay pot, you put it upside down, and you put some little cinder blocks or something around it, then you put a candle in it, and that alone emits a ton of heat. Well, so does a bajillion pounds of wood. This is why I stacked all freaking summer, dude. I'm a wood chopper. How many woodchucks could have chucked freaking wood? So listen, this is strange, because I don't know about you, but this winter has seemed extremely abnormal. It was like above zero a few weeks ago, and it was minus 15 on December 15th. Okay, before Christmas, we had like February temperatures. So what the Sam Dam's going on? So right now, stock up on diesel, gas, freaking snowmobiling. Got my new snowmobile. I'll tell you guys all about it. It's a freaking beast, man. I'll tell you all about it. Stay tuned. Comment your thoughts. Tell me how your winter's going, because this is weird.
Oh, come on. You don't actually
weird.
believe that we never went to the moon, right? Right? Yeah. No, but I do think that India failed computer design.
Who is here to encourage us, and he is critically looking at the visuals.
Yeah, it's supposed to like show the moon landing or simulate it or something.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल.
Anyways, here's my driver. And did you know that the first man to walk on the moon was actually Neil Armstrong's cameraman? Where's his recognition? Anyways, let's hit it.
I never thought about it. Yeah, where is this
At this
recognition?
point, y'all, we are not getting GTA.
Bro, GTA 6 speaking situation is crazy, bro. Apparently there was an explosion at the headquarters, I guess, man. Is that just a sign, bro, that GTA 6 is never coming out, bro? And I heard actually like a couple of weeks ago, I was just looking it up, bro, how they said they're still testing it, man. Like how it's not even done. At this point, I'm not gonna be surprised if they just delay it just so it can come out with the PlayStation 7 and the new Xbox, man. If it doesn't come out this year, bro, I'm calling it. They're not gonna release it until like the PlayStation 7 comes out because it makes no sense, man. Keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed, bro. They hyping this game up, man. It better be worth it, bro. The wait. I guarantee you, man. It's probably gonna generate probably like $1 billion. It costs like they said it costs like $2 billion to make. I guarantee it's probably gonna make double that back within the release. Like maybe 4 or 6 billion, bro. But this is crazy, man. I think this is just a sign that it's not coming out this year, bro. Like a headquarter explosion, bro. There's never been a more clear side to that, man.
It's over. This can sound crazy all you want, but what if this fire was in an aqua GTA? Y'all, let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
Are these giants on this map? You tell me. Take a look at this. Look at the size of the trees here. Look at the size of the people. This is a 1613 map. It's a really pretty map. It's done of, as you can see here, and they did a nice photograph of it, but it has Africa and the Europe areas, but it also has the Americas here, all decked out and really interesting. 1613, all of the North America area is all of France. Got the France coat of arms here.
Angels?
People just hanging out. Smaller people see the trees, see the people. And then down in the South Americas, it's all Spanish and Spain. See there with that big coat of arms there, and then obviously this here, and again people hanging out below the trees, not as big, but when you go over here, you have in Africa these people standing above the trees, pointing above them.
Giants, bro.
What did you think of that? I thought that was kind of crazy. If you'd like a link to this map, just hit me up in the comments. Thanks for the support, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. And until next time.
Has almost gone extinct multiple times. We are not special, we are late. The Great Dying was 252 million years ago and is our biggest mass extinction event. Over 90% of life vanished because an insane amount of volcanoes erupted. This made the air poison and the oceans acid. Snowball Earth, the period where the planet froze completely. It was covered in ice from the poles to the equator. Life survived in tiny ponds or pockets of slushy. The oxygen apocalypse, when oxygen used to be toxic. Cyanobacteria flooded the atmosphere with it, and most of life on Earth choked to death. It's formally called the Great Oxidation Event. The Late Devonian extinction, here the ocean lost oxygen and wiped out almost all marine life, so life moved to land because it was the more logical choice. And from this came the first forests. The dinosaur-killing asteroid released more energy than billions of nuclear bombs. It caused global firestorms, acid rain, and a sun-blocking dust cloud that annihilated 75% of life on Earth. And the Late Ordovician mass extinction, the planet got icy, which dropped sea levels dramatically. Nearly 85% of marine species died because their world literally drained away. Finally, the Triassic-Jurassic extinction. This one was caused by volcanoes. It ripped Pangea apart, and now we are at the beginning of a new mass extinction called Holocene, except this time it's not volcanoes or asteroids, it's us.
Wow.
Thank you.
How many extinction events did we
That's why
have?
archaeologists are too scared to open the tomb of China's first emperor. Despite discovering this site almost 40 years ago and exploring the majority of it, no one has seen inside the actual tomb for over 2,000 years since the emperor was first sealed inside. Now, the fears to open this tomb come from the writings of an ancient Chinese historian who wrote that the tomb is hooked up to a number of booby traps that were designed to kill anyone who tries to enter. Not only were the craftsmen ordered to make crossbows and arrows primed to shoot any intruders, but even if these fail, archaeologists say that there's another and even more dangerous threat. When the tomb was constructed, they used huge amounts of mercury, which is highly toxic, to simulate entire rivers and set them to flow mechanically. So, due to these concerns, what mysteries lie inside this tomb remain to be sealed and unseen.
mean people are mad at this guy for taking the $1 million in a Mr. Beast game? So Mr. Beast told this guy if he presses the button and screws his whole team over that he would win $1 million. And his team was in shock. And this is where it gets even more insaner. Not only did he press the button to win $1 million, and not only is the rest of his team out, which means that there is less competition for the $5 million, which he can still win too. Would I rather have $1 million and be able to play for 5 or get the respect of my team? And this is where it gets even more sadder. The girl on his team literally berates him and says, we don't respect you anymore. You can call me selfish all day long, but if I have $1 million in my bank, I don't care about your opinion. I would 100% sacrifice my dignity for $1 million and potentially 5. And this is where it gets even so much more funnier, because the guy that took the $1 million, he posted a tweet saying, now that I have my $1 million, I do not regret my decision.
Damn.
If you were offered $1 million by Mr. Beast to screw over your whole team, would you?
You will not believe what they have just found inside the pyramids of Giza. Great. More strange Egyptian stuff going down. What is it this time? You probably remember in 2024 they found a strange anomaly of energy underneath the pyramids. Not sure what that was. And then they used LiDAR technology last year where they discovered something absolutely insane. I'm sure you all remember everybody talking about this. They found what looked like megastructures under the pyramids. They kind of popped it off, but I don't know. Now they're using LiDAR and new types of technology which basically allows them to see through walls, so they must have got their perks equipped. But this time the archaeologists are looking at the smallest pyramid in Giza, and what they've found could be pretty nuts. We know that inside the pyramids not everywhere has been explored. These places were basically built to hide whatever they wanted it to hide. Now inside one of them they've found what looks like could be a passageway to essentially a secret chamber that's completely sealed off. Researchers are using the technology to look through the walls and see what's inside, and well, they can see some things in there, but they don't know what it is. So it's looking like they're potentially going to get into this hidden chamber somehow by breaking in, but I don't know if that's even allowed. But they're looking into it, running a lot more tests to see what it could be, so there's going to be a lot more coming. I'll keep you updated.
So that chamber.
Minnesota tax fraud. Crazy stuff's happening there. So there's $18 billion that's been put towards federal funds that supported Minnesota-run programs. $9 billion or more, or reportedly, may have been stolen. Wow. That's a lot of money.
People are saying that work nearby, saying we don't see any kids ever around here. We have no idea. We thought they were closed. Nick Shirley's a 23-year-old YouTuber trying to dig deep, where's this money going? And he shows up, and there's absolutely no evidence that any kids are there.
The director of education or something, she's like, well, that daycare center closed over a week ago. But then the next day, they were interviewing the guy that owns the building, and they had all these kids going into the building. He's like, we were never closed. Our office hours are on the window. It says 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night for a daycare center. It seems like such a front.
The same guy that was doing that interview, someone stopped and said, wait a minute, that's the mayor in Minnesota, and he's dancing and hanging out with the Somalian community. One of the guys behind him is the guy who's speaking for the daycare. That's a weird coincidence, and the state's saying the money is missing. How does that happen? That's $9 billion.
Hold on. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Lunchables and goldfish and stuff?
Yeah. Groceries are expensive.
They're pretty expensive now.
Somebody need to find out if Unc that made tenderism got fired. Because if he did, we cannot let this shit rock. We know for a fact that the man that owned Destination Smokehouse ain't like Unc being the face of his business. We also know that the attention that Unc was getting, he wanted that attention. Unc made the word tenderism. He trademarked the word tenderness. This is why we recently saw him having Unc film him do shit that Unc usually do. Matter of fact, look at this shit.
Look at that. Look at that. And watch this. Even the virus. And the flavor is insane. It's like definitely one in the next.
Now we see why when Keith Lee came in, they act like Unc was too busy to see Keith Lee. They act like Unc wasn't there. Keith Lee had a $4,000 tip for Unc, and they didn't let Unc get that. And then you wonder why. And then to top that off, Boss ain't like the fact that Keith Lee came here to see Unc. Makes a video about Keith Lee. Come on, what kind of shit is that? And now there's rumors going around that Unc got fired. You know that might be a good thing for Unc. He got a chance to get out of that get out movement. But if Unc did get fired, Destination Smokehouse is going to be Destination Closehouse. I'm out.
Willow AI chip by Google. Joe Rogan talked about this. It's a computer chip. It can travel to different dimensions and process calculations faster just because it doesn't think like the human mind. It's like a quantum computer that jumps ahead. Yes, and they can do calculations faster.
In benchmark tests, Willow solved a standard computation in less than 5 minutes that would take a leading supercomputer over 10 septillion years to solve. far beyond the age of the universe.
But one thing that you talked about, remember that aliens spotted in the Miami Strip? Yeah, this is crazy. They're saying that the only reason why that happened was because they tested that chip on the same day. Oh, for real? Yeah, as the Miami incident. Oh, so they're saying if you can jump dimensions, it just opened a little portal. Other things came into the real world, and that's why they can't explain it. Why do you think it's not covered? Because, Miami didn't know what the hell that is, and it just disappeared right away. Maybe that's because the computer right after closed. That's all that it needed.
So how do you explain this, y'all? This guy notices it was abnormally hot in Kentucky today, y'all. And then he took his phone up to the sky, and then he looked up, and he recorded 3 suns in the sky. It don't make sense, y'all. It's like 2 of them are like bright white, and 1 of them is orange. But this orange one kept on glitching in and out of the sky. It kept on disappearing. Look at this. Hold on, y'all. Check this out.
3 of them.
Somebody please tell me what in the world is going on. That's not a reflection. That's crazy. What is going on?
You guys can clearly see 3 light sources up in the sky, y'all. But I want you to focus on this sorbet orange one. Look at it. So y'all seen that, right? It disappeared, right? And then it's gonna come back and then disappear again. What is going on? Is this what they mean by Project Bluebeam?
Could be.
Oh, of course it's back.
What is going on, y'all? Y'all seen 3-body problem? What is that? Why does this remind me of Naruto? Why does that look like a Rasengan? Why? Y'all look at this. And it's also abnormally warm around the world, not just Kentucky too, y'all. As y'all can see, there are big changes happening on our planet, and it's happening quickly. But let me know what you guys think about this video. The shit is here.
Who were caught cheating, part 2.
Talk about it.
In 1994, on the day before the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, title holder Nancy Kerrigan was filmed finishing a practice skate, but just seconds later she was screaming in pain on the ground after a man with a police baton attacked her. The attack severely bruised her knee, which made her unable to compete. Her longtime rival Tonya Harding went on to take first place and was selected alongside her for that year's Winter Olympic skating team. However, police soon discovered that the attack on Kerrigan had been ordered by a bounty hunter. In a shocking twist of events, Tonya Harding's ex-husband Jeff Gillooly and her once bodyguard Sean Eckhart were labeled as the culprits. They'd hired the bounty hunter to break Kerrigan's leg, removing Harding's competition in the upcoming events. Although she claimed she had no part in the conspiracy, Harding later admitted that she knew her ex-husband had been involved, but she'd failed to report it. But karma had the last laugh. At the games, a malfunction with her skates saw Tonya placed down in 8th, while Kerrigan managed a silver in 2nd.
That goes to show you, bro. That's proof of karma right there, man. She knew what was gonna happen, man. To take out the competition, she ain't saying nothing about it, and she still got 8th place. She didn't even get top 1 or 2, man, for the gold or silver medal. That's karma, seekers, right there, in 4K.
Here are some things that 99% of humans can't do. Are you part of the 1%? The ability to raise eyebrows is an evolutionary trait that all of us can do. While pretty much everybody can raise their eyebrows, only 1% of the world can raise one eyebrow at once. Did you know that 99% of the world can't lick their elbow? So you probably can't do this, and I bet you're probably doing it right now. However, for some people, this task is actually really easy, which is due to being born with really flexible bodies or practicing a lot of gymnastics. Only 2% of people can wiggle their ears. Unlike other face muscles, ear muscles are operated by a completely different part of your brain. If you try to use your face muscles to move your ears, it's never gonna work. So you're gonna have to raise your eyebrows and smile widely to lift your ears. And if you're lucky, you might be one of the few people that can move them.
I can't. Seekers, can you guys do any of those things? I think I can do the elbow joint. I think actually I can. But I can't do the ear joint. That's completely different. Or that one eyebrow, what the Rock be doing. I cannot do that. Tell me down below if you can do that, man. I'm actually curious if any of you guys can do that.
This man was frozen in ice for 3 days, and you won't believe what happened to him. His name is David Blaine, and he went inside a block of ice for 3 days with no food and only one tube supplying him with air and water. At the 61-hour mark, he was beginning to lose consciousness, but he couldn't go to sleep because if he leaned on the ice, he would have gotten severe frostbite. Unfortunately, this led him to have extreme hallucinations. Near the end of the stunt, he called his girlfriend over, but she was immediately pulled away. This made him think that he was dead and that she couldn't see him. After 63 hours, they decided to cut him out, but they said he was so delusional, he tried to grab the chainsaw. He finally made it out, but he was so physically and emotionally tired that he couldn't walk or talk. David was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, and after 1 month of therapy, he finally made a full recovery.
If you're watching horror movies and feel like something's watching you, this could be why. A family from Ecuador enjoyed watching horror movies together in their living room. But one night, during their late horror night session, they began to feel a strange presence with them in the living room. Scared, thinking they might have attracted an evil entity into their home, they placed a camera in their living room, and this is what they captured.
Ahí yo fue que ya comencé a sentirme mal. ¿Por qué? Porque mira, ve, eso yo se lo vi claramente así, de reojo. Mira, ¿sí viste? Eso sí.
One of the family members is startled as a dark figure can be seen moving behind him. After this, objects began to fly across the room.
La puerta ahí como la tenía trancada. ¿No?
Mira, sí, oye, ¿sí ves?
Sí.
Ahí pasa.
And they just get out of there. The family will later call in a priest to bless the house, but the hauntings persist.
This is the stuff of nightmares that's like straight out of the
Is that legit, Seekers?
It has a lot to do with the dark web. Sometime around 2004, when people were just starting to explore what would later be known as the dark web, they would talk about a woman that would show up on your screen, except it wasn't a woman. It was a distorted mask of a woman's face. And what this person would do is that they would recite your full name and your address, and then say, "I'm coming for you." And then the whole screen would go dark.
This is what they mean when they say only 5% of the ocean has been explored. What kind of fish is this?
Did that fish just eat her out? I mean, like I said, it's true. We only explore like 5% of the ocean, so there could be some species down there that we haven't even seen before. Have you seen that fish before, man? I sure haven't. The more you know. That's scary.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 16. Kangaroos are absolutely terrifying, and if you mess with one, it will likely lure you into the water and attempt to drown you. There's an abandoned Disney park that you aren't allowed to go to, and it was shut down in 1999 because it was infested with free-roaming alligators. The animals were being abused, and an 11-year-old boy died from a flesh-eating bacteria found in the park's waters. In the movie The Wizard of Oz, the lion's costume was made out of a real skinned lion. This is the John Lawson house. No one knows who lives there, but every single day, there are several female mannequins sitting on the front porch wearing a variety of clothing. Their positions and outfits change daily, and many believe this is meant to convey some sort of message. And in 1871, a train crash took place just 200 feet away from the home, killing 22 people. And these mannequins are always pointing toward the crash.
Why? Is that a hyena or something?
Yeah, the hyena's a girl. So many may know, female hyenas have a fake meat hose that looks almost identical to the real thing. And for those that don't, actually, that's the lead. They have a pseudo-phallus that they give birth from, and yes, it's as traumatizing as you think, and yes, the very process of birth can end up doing the exact opposite for everyone involved. Below key, having a built-in flesh scrap might explain why hyenas are exactly the way they are. So for most animals, life pretty much comes down to the 3 F's: food, fights, and... So a lot of times when male animals run a fade, it's for the goal of female validation. But hyenas having a female 5th leg means they have a natural crotch block. It's basically anti-mating hardware that means the no-pants dance can only happen if she allows it. So unlike things like lions or bears, there's really no reason for male hyenas to want smoke with each other when getting it in is already RNG. Pun intended. And it's believed having coitus completely out of their control is why male hyenas are way less aggressive and even have less testosterone than the females. Meanwhile, the females are more on go than a green light. And why hyena sisters are way more likely to put each other on a t-shirt. And with them being pack animals with a whole social ladder, the Walking Comedy Club had to become more aggressive just to give their cubs a chance at life. Matter of fact, that's probably why they have more testosterone. So yeah, moral of this video. Lion King did hyenas every type of dirty, but they got it right when they had Shenty giving orders. And now you know why. This is why you should be scared of that one person you're
Just put that
talking to
together.
online that you're about to meet in real life. Blanca Arellano, a 51-year-old Mexican woman, was looking for love. She met a Peruvian man named Juan Villafuerte on an online gaming app. And on the last day of October, she traveled 3,000 miles to Lima, Peru to meet him. She thought that he could be the one. On November 7th, while in the beach city of Huacho, where Villafuerte lived, Blanca spoke to her niece on the phone and told her that the relationship was going well and that she was in love. Then, she went silent. Her niece suspected something was wrong after not being able to get into contact with her. She called for help on Twitter and reached out to Juan Villafuerte, who said that Blanca got bored of him and left to find a plane ticket back to Mexico, as he could not provide the life she wanted. But the truth was much, much darker. On November 10th, Peruvian authorities found a severed finger on the beach of Huacho. Then in the following days, they found a faceless head, and then an arm, and then a torso with no organs inside of it. They eventually identified Blanca Arellano via her family by the ring on her finger. Juan Villafuerte was arrested on charges of human organs trafficking. Authorities found traces of blood all over his apartment, and he reportedly posted TikTok videos of human organs days after Blanca's disappearance. Creepy last words people said right before dying. A nursing assistant said that she was in a long-term patient's room changing the sheets. The patient would periodically look behind her. She asked the patient what was wrong, and the patient looked in her eyes and asked, "He doesn't scare you?" The nurse was confused, and she asked her who she was referring to, and the patient said, "The big man in the top hat. He's standing right behind you." She said that she doesn't think that she has ever finished changing a bed sheet and repositioning a patient as fast as she did that night. She refused to go into that room by herself for the rest of her shift. Linda Johnson, a former nurse, said that she had a gentleman in his late 90s who was dying. He started screaming blood-curdling screams, so they raced to his room. He was screaming that the room was on fire and that there was a man with large horns peering out of the flames. He kept pointing to one wall, saying that it was on fire. The nurses turned on the lights and tried to calm and console him, but to no avail. Instead of being consoled, Linda said that he told her that she was on fire and that he could see her being consumed by flames. Linda said that it was the creepiest thing that has ever happened to her. The doctor was notified, but nothing relieved the patient's terrifying hallucinations. He died soon after. Cynthia said that several years ago, her 20-year-old daughter had brain surgery. She got an infection of the spinal fluid. She was there in grave condition for a month. Cynthia never left her daughter's side. One night, the worst night at this point, she asked who the man in black was that was standing by the bathroom, and why Cynthia's deceased brother, the girl's uncle, was standing next to her at the side of the bed. Cynthia immediately got the chills. She told her daughter, "They're not here." Then she told her brother and the man in the black, whom she couldn't see, "You both have to go now. She's not ready to go, and I'm not ready to let her go." After that night, her daughter started to get better and better each day. Today, her daughter is doing well.
September 25th, 1981, something very strange took place up in the Smoky Mountains. This is a picture of Pauline Melton, and it would end up being one of the last known photos of her. Because while Pauline was up there, she was with two hiking companions. They described that she, all of a sudden, without explanation, just started to rapidly speed up. They even described that they called out to her. They were asking, "Pauline, where are you going? Pauline." She never answered. She never looked back until she crossed over a hill. Since that exact moment, Pauline was never seen again. And to this day, they still have no idea where she went and why she did it.
The first person to live forever is already alive. At least according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who explains it with irrefutable logic. It starts with someone that was born in like the past year or so. Our test subject, call him Johnny Boy. The reason Johnny, or any of us, age is because our cells are constantly dividing, making fresh copies of our DNA in each new cell. Our DNA is packed into chromosomes, and since DNA duplication isn't perfect, the tips of these chromosomes are slightly trimmed on every replication. Sort of like making a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. The quality slightly degrades each time. To protect against this, our chromosomes have something called telomeres on their tips, which essentially contain junk DNA data that we can afford to lose. But even these telomeres are finite. They get shorter and shorter on every duplication until at some point they're fully gone. Then the cell stops dividing, gradually loses its function and withers away. The more this happens in our cells, the more we age, and our bodies experience age-related characteristics. Scientists like David Sinclair are currently getting really close drugs to reversing this process in human cells. He's developed what he refers to a chemical cocktail that can reprogram the way our cells are read to sort of fill in the blanks from these imperfections in our DNA replication. The science behind it is quite extensive, and he ran tests on lab mice that were incredibly successful. Having mice born at the same time with one looking visibly older than the other says that human trials are planned to start within the decade, and it's just a matter of time before we start seeing success in that. So where does this live forever come from? Obviously, the first version of this cocktail won't be perfect and may extend human life to, let's say, 150 years. Now remember our test subject, Johnny Boy? In 20 years, he'll be 20, at which time we're almost guaranteed to be undergoing human trials at the very least, if not already publicly available. This life potion is given to Johnny so that he can live until 150. The claim states that by the time Johnny is 40, we're almost guaranteed to make enough advancement to double the anti-aging cocktail so that now he can live till 300. 20 years later, when he's 60, the potion will be improved so that he can live till 500 years old. By the time he's 80, he can live till 1,000. These numbers are all arbitrary, but the general principle still holds up. Even if we start seeing diminishing returns in the improvements of this concoction, Johnny has already hacked his way into living forever. He can already live till 1,000 at this point, so even if it takes 100 more years to improving the medicine to living till, say, 2,000 years old, he'll live until then and take it, constantly outliving the improvement curve of anti-aging until they've cracked the code to the million-year potion, at which point Johnny Boy is essentially immortal, which means one of two things absolutely must happen in our future. One, we colonize other planets, or two, we stop having babies. If people are living forever and no longer dying, our population will continue to grow and just grow and grow. At which point we either need more space to put people, like other planets, or we gotta stop making people. So unless we want to sterilize the entire human race, living forever probably isn't a good idea until we figure this multi-planetary business out.
Things that show...
What do you guys think about that theory, Seekers? The age gap, but it just kept going and going and going, man. They're working on stuff, man, to make us not age no more. We live forever, trying to make us immortal. What do you guys think about that?
Show off the power of time. Part 7. Disney World has had about 58 million visitors per year since it opened in 1971. And during those visits, guests would often have to wait in lines that were organized by rope walkways. And if you look closely at the rope clips, you can see that they've started to wear down. Some have even created a new groove. And no, I'm not talking about Cusco. Next, watching waves at the shoreline might seem like a calming activity, but not if you're a resident of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Over time, the waves wore the shoreline and even took a huge chunk out of it. Now, this would usually take several years for the effects to be seen. But in the case of Green Bay, this all happened within the span of an hour.
Wow, what the hell? The power of
And
water.
lastly, we're told that tattoos are permanent, but this may not be the case. Because this guy got a tattoo of a flower on the palm of his hand. And in just 2.5 months, the tattoo mostly vanished. This is mainly because our palms experience a lot of friction from how often we rub our hands. So if you want a tattoo, you might want to avoid your palm.
Bro, I gotta
think I
ask,
said
what
that.
is the most wholesome animal on earth? Brother, if you wanted a manatee video, you could have just asked. Did you know when alligators and manatees cross paths underwater, the alligators seem to let them pass a prehistoric sledgehammer, and they give manatees the right of way? That's how you know you got motion in the ocean. There's never been a record of a manatee attacking a human, and it might be because it's literally physically impossible. One is because their teeth are way in their mouths, and their molars designed for grinding grass, not biting. You know, if you ever get bit by a manatee, that means you were in his throat, and if you were, that means this law was for you. Some things don't need exploring Columbus. Also, some scientists think that because adult manatees have no predators, and because they don't have to fight each other over who eats what grass, there's a lot of talk that the sea squishy is mentally incapable of feeling aggression. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I will say 3 things. 1, they don't just eat grass, they'll go pescatarian if the opportunity presents itself. 2, as fast as you think manatees are, they're faster. It might not be with malicious intent, but 1,200 pounds of anything moving like that is definitely cause to pause. And 3, last year a popular manatee named Q, past tense, after essentially explicit interaction with a bigger male named Buffett, tore him open like a reverse butt birth. The catch? Buffett was his brother. Yeah, that's pretty bad, but did you know manatees are also closely related to my favorite animal? They even got the same nail tech. So yeah, I'm a little biased, so I'm gonna let it slide. Especially since I'm pretty sure it wasn't aggression, but just a dangerous lack of awareness. But yeah, God bless this water blimp, and R.I.P. Hugh.
R.I.P. Hugh, bro. I don't know manatees were related to like elephants. I saw that. We learn new things every day, Seekers, man.
Don't freak out, but we are right now entering the beginning of the end of the universe. 95% of all the stars that will ever form have already formed. And it gets even crazier than that. There is a sphere around us called the Hubble sphere. Beyond this point, everything is moving away from us faster than the speed of light due to the expansion of space itself. And how many of the galaxies do you think are outside of this sphere? 94% of all the galaxies we can see are beyond this boundary today. Meaning, no matter how hard we try, if there are aliens living in these galaxies, we will never be able to meet them. 60,000 stars pass beyond this horizon every single second. That's nearly 2 million solar systems we can no longer visit since the start of this video. This will continue until we are all alone. The universe as we know it, with all the beautiful galaxies and nebulae, will slowly fade away into darkness, and the astronomers of the future will point their telescopes everywhere, finding the same thing: darkness and silence for the rest of eternity.
Here are horrible things done by very influential people. Everyone knows Steve Jobs for founding Apple, but what most people don't know is the dark side of his personal life. He had an on and off relationship with a woman named Kristen Brennan, and this led to a messy pregnancy and a years-long paternity battle. Steve Jobs refused to help Brennan and their child financially, and she had to go on welfare. Now eventually he did help his daughter, but only because Brennan came forward about his behavior in an interview with Time magazine in 1982. Before becoming a popular kids book author, Theodore Seuss Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss, served in the animation department of the United States Army during World War II. He wrote training and propaganda films, and designed posters to get people signed up to join the army. But a lot of his work at the time made the Japanese look really horrible, and this carried on into his earlier books. And Mother Teresa helped provide healthcare to the sick and the poor, but her actions behind the scenes were questionable, to say the least. It's been reported that her care involved these people allegedly going through a forced conversion to Catholicism, which involved children being baptized without their parents' consent. She also allegedly hid the actions of priests who were behaving inappropriately around children, and used charity funds for her own medical care. Yeah, this is not what Jesus would do.
This teacher was caught doing it with
taking
an 8th grade
advantage.
student. And apparently it was almost daily. The kid was 13 years old, and now she will serve 10 years in prison. This happened in Texas. The teacher behind me, her name is Alexandria Vera. She's 25 years old, and this 13-year-old got her pregnant. She stated the relationship happened in the Instagram DMs, and his family apparently approved of this relationship. The judge and the school district said that they want their teachers to teach students, not put their hands all over their students. She was originally going to get 30 years in prison, but the judge said, I don't think she's that bad, and gave her 10 years. Apparently this relationship blossomed in 2015 around summertime. The boy kept advancing, she kept denying, but eventually she gave in apparently. Prosecutors said, based on evidence, they did it daily for 9 months straight. And apparently during the entire ordeal, to get away with this, she told her neighbors that the boy was her brother. And now it gets even weirder. She even moved his father in with her so she could pretend she was dating the father when in reality she was the kid. This was kind of a mask. She was also paying for the family's groceries and phone bill. This kid literally had a sugar mama. Now Alexandria Vera has a 6-year-old daughter that even called the 13-year-old kid her dad. What an interesting case. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're from Houston, Texas, did you hear about this case around you guys? As always, these videos are for informational purposes only. Once again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I definitely feel like she should have served life for this. She knew exactly what she was doing, but the court system was pretty lenient on her.
It's a tragic case, man. Truly tragic. You guys, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys, man, follow me on my social medias, man. Links in the description down below, guys. Also, man, hit that post notification bell. Also, man, hit that like button, man. That's very important, man. It's going to push us in the algorithm. We're going to take off one day, man. But we just going step by step by now. And I really appreciate the support I have for right now. You guys going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.
You're told to drink a lot of water throughout the day, but have you ever wondered what happens when you drink too much water? Well, 35-year-old Ashley Summers drank 64 ounces of water in a span of 20 minutes and passed away from water toxicity. Ashley, her husband, and 2 daughters were at Lake Freeman in Indiana when she began feeling dehydrated. So she drank 4 bottles of water because for some reason she wasn't able to quench her thirst. Ashley complained about having a horrible headache and she began to feel lightheaded. When she got home with her family, she passed out in the garage and she was taken to the hospital where the doctor said she had brain swelling. Ashley never woke up and she was pronounced dead from water toxicity. A toxicologist said that this is more likely to happen to someone who's extremely dehydrated, which will cause them to drink too much water and not enough sodium or electrolytes. So remember, bring more than just water on really hot days, especially if you're under the sun for a long period of time. This day
That's actually insane, man. Someone passed away from drinking too much water. Like she said when we were growing up, it was also, drink water, be hydrated. Man, the more you know, Seekers.
Her owner shot her husband twice after she found this out. Shantiri Weems and her husband James owned this daycare called Kids Castle. On July 2022, a woman whose child was attending Kids Castle approached Shantiri and told her that Shantiri lost it, and in that moment, she made her way to a hotel in Washington, D.C. where James was staying at and shot him in the neck and thigh. Shantiri admits that her intentions were to paralyze James because she was just so angry. Keep in mind, Shantiri loved kids and her job, and she wanted this daycare to be something where kids felt like they were safe. And she said after seeing the pain in this mother's face, she snapped. James had contact with 93 children, and most of them rode on the daycare bus with him. And this story only gets more disturbing. James was also a retired Baltimore police officer. But ultimately, Shantiri was sentenced to 4 years in prison, and the judge said that she should have never taken the law into her own hands.
There has been a horrifying discovery in Florida. Police have recovered 3 suitcases from the Delray Beach containing remains of a mystery woman. On July the 21st, police received a call about something suspicious in the water. When police got to the scene, they found human remains in the first suitcase and shortly after found 2 other cases. A homicide investigation is underway, and police have revealed this image of what they believe the victim to have looked like. The image also roughly shows what her clothing may have looked like as well. They believe that the victim was killed between the period between the 17th and the 20th of July. She's believed to have been between 35 and 50 years of age. Based upon what they have found, they believe that she was about 5'4" in height. Investigators are appealing to members of the public for any help in identifying the victim. They're also asking anyone who lives in that general area to check their security cameras for anything that might be useful towards the case.
Be careful where you at.
As the Grim Sleeper, responsible for killing between 10 and 25 plus people. Got the name the Grim Sleeper is because apparently he went on a 14-year hiatus, for which he eventually started killing again, which led to him being caught. Deborah Jackson was a mother of 3 in which she was shot 3 times by a .25 caliber gun. He would only kill women. So much of the women that he would kill, he would shoot with this certain gun, which he would shoot them in the chest and he would dump their body. The pattern continued and continued as more women were being shot in the chest and dumped in the alley. Investigators weren't really linking the cases until they realized that the odds that the person is shooting somebody in the chest with the exact same gun. They worked on various leads, looked for various people. For the most part, it seemed like they were just going from dead end to dead end. Eventually, in '87, they got an anonymous 911 call in which a witness claims that they saw a woman's body being tossed into an alley. He shared a license plate of the van and what the person looked like. At the scene, investigators discovered a woman later identified as a 32-year-old Barbara, which she was fatally shot in the chest with the .25 caliber gun. So they have the license plate, so you think, okay, maybe they caught the killer. So the detectives traced the license plate to a van that is at a church, where the keys to the vehicle are very easily accessible to almost anyone.
Damn. They say you want like 14 years between that, man. He never got caught. Well, no, they said they caught him up in the end, but it took 14 years, man. Goes to show you, man. Justice, karma, it'll come to you, man. It may take a couple months, days, months, or years, but it's that energy gonna revert right back to you.
For nothing.
The most disgusting case. Nostalgic Ike. He went to one of the restaurants to buy food and coffee. When he opened the coffee, he found cockroaches' legs.
Hell
he
no.
also returned his coffee to employees, and he got new coffee. But after the coffee was purchased, more cockroaches' feet were in the coffee.
What the fuck?
Bonus photo.
I'm always checking now, bro. Always open that lid up, Seekers. We don't know what's in there. Crazy info we learning.
Here's the second part of the body cam footage of Chad Dorman, the monster, the so-called father who unalived his 3 sons in a way that I cannot even describe on here. But before I show you the video, the cop and the way he reacts in this video and how he talks to the suspect is 100% how I would talk to him.
Can we get the wallet out of my back pocket? Shut up, dude. Yeah, the drugs remain solid. Fucking either.
There's a wallet for what? It's in his pocket.
Horror movies with the biggest plot twist that you won't see coming. The movie we're talking about today has one of the most unique and insane stories I've ever seen.
Talk
Livid
about
is
it.
a French horror movie about a nurse taking care of an old woman who used to be a famous ballet teacher. The old woman is in a coma, but she's very rich and lives in a mansion. There's also a mysterious key that's always around her neck. So the nurse, her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's brother decide to rob her. As it's rumored there's some kind of treasure hidden in her mansion, and they assume the key around her neck opens the door to the treasure. But when they open that door, they find something else. I'm gonna tell you what they found behind the door, so if you don't want to hear it, just click away now. They found the old woman's dead daughter, whose corpse has been turned into a human ballerina statue, just like one of those ballerinas dancing in a music box. But don't worry, because there's another twist. You'll also never guess how it ends. I thought it was weird and entertaining and just interesting to watch. So check out Livid and follow for more. Earlier this week,
Any of you seekers watch that?
California opened up a barrel that was on the beach only to find a body inside, and now a homicide investigation is underway. This past Sunday, a maintenance worker at the Malibu Lagoon State Beach saw a black plastic barrel floating in the lagoon and brought it in with a kayak. He didn't open it at the time, but the next morning, a lifeguard on duty spotted the same barrel back out in the lagoon. He swam out and brought it back into the beach, and when he noticed how heavy it was, he opened it to see what was inside. And that's when he found a man's body. The origin of the barrel is unclear, but it's possible that it was brought in with the tide from the ocean. The man's identity has still yet to be remained as well, and homicide detectives are now investigating and have not released many details. However, they did note that the foot did not look very decomposed, indicating that the body may have not been in there very long. Investigators are also looking into security footage in the area to try to determine where the barrel may have come from and who may have disposed of it. Like I said, they have yet to identify the remains, and the investigation is ongoing. But this is just so eerie, and I hope they can figure it out quickly.
What is it, man? They just put bodies on the beaches. I don't get it. What the hell is that? What the hell was she on? She was not acting normal, Seekers, man. The way she just popped up, that was like 10 times more weirder.
What we know about the 4 Idaho students who were murdered in their house. On November 13th at 12 p.m., 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death in their beds in a home that they shared. The victims were 20-year-old Ethan, 21-year-old Kaylee, 21-year-old Madison, and 20-year-old Zaina. Just a few hours before Madison and Kaylee were murdered at 1:40 a.m., and they were seen on surveillance grabbing some food from a food truck in downtown Moscow. They then took an Uber home, and at around 3 to 4 a.m., their lives were taken. Ethan and Zaina, who were a couple, also arrived to the home around the same time as Kaylee and Madison. There were also 2 other students in the home while the murder took place, but they were not harmed and they said they did not hear anything. These students in the home were also not the ones who called 911, but police will not release that information. Police do believe that this was a targeted and isolated attack, but they do not have any suspects at the moment. In my opinion, I think there's a lot more to the story, and I hate to say it, but these attacks seem really random, and this may be a serial killer.
That's a tragic case. The hell was they doing on a gurney? Come on, man, with that ass. Think that one was the edit. You can spot those out, man. Y'all spot out the edits, man. Comment down below, bro. Light flickering on and off, what the hell? Is that an edit too? Like someone's trying to grab it. She just walked away at the end.
This is 28-year-old Nadine Burras, and she was from the UK. In 2012, Nadine decided that she wanted to join a dating website, and she made a profile on MuslimMatch.com. On this website, she met Sami Al-Mahari, and he was posing as a millionaire from the United States. The relationship grew quickly and became very intense. Since Nadine was in the UK and Sami was in the United States, they started a long-distance relationship, and they would be seen talking on the phone for hours until the early morning. In 2013, they ended up meeting for the first time, and later on, Nadine realized that he was lying about his occupation and he wasn't actually a millionaire, he was a taxi driver. Yes, Nadine was upset with Sami, and it wasn't the fact that he wasn't a millionaire, it was the fact that he lied to her all this time. Unfortunately, the relationship quickly became abusive, and Sami would leave Nadine covered in bruises. On December 30th of 2014, Sami had visited Nadine in Cardiff, UK. He went to Nadine's home but got into an altercation with her brother, so he was asked to leave. Sami was staying at a hotel pretty close by to Nadine's home, so that's when he gave her a call and told her that he had actually left his passport at her home and if she could bring it to him. They ended up going to a nearby restaurant, and around 11 p.m. is when they made it back to the hotel. An hour later, Sami was seen at a casino with some fresh scratches to his face. Sami then took Nadine's car to the airport and he took a flight to Qatar. The next day, around 12:20 p.m. was New Year's Eve, and Nadine's body was found in that hotel room. Police had discovered that Nadine's laptop and phone were missing, so that could only mean that Sami had these. Soon enough, Nadine's family were getting text messages from her phone, and this was Sami. He was just taunting them and basically telling them that they were going to be next. On January 19th, 2015, Sami was located in Tanzania. He was arrested and brought back to the UK. Sami claimed he was suffering from abnormality of mental function and that the voice of God told him to kill Nadine. In 2016, Sami was given a life in prison with the minimum term of 17 years before being eligible for parole.
If I didn't know this was a true crime case, I would think it was a disturbing horror film. On the morning of the 7th of October 2022, a barefoot woman was running around Excelsior Springs, Missouri, bashing on people's doors. Witnesses describe her looking like she came straight from a horror film and she was calling for help. She'd been beaten, held captive and SA'd for weeks. The woman was a shocking sight. She was covered in injuries and was wearing a bin bag. Disturbingly, she was gasping for breath as she had a very tight tight metal collar locked around her neck. It was a nurse who opened the door to her and let her come in. The nurse started to call police, and at this point the woman panicked. She warned her that the captor would kill her and claimed that he had killed her 2 friends. When police got there, the woman explained that a man called Timothy had captured her the month prior. He'd been holding her hostage this whole time. She said he'd been keeping her locked in the basement and had been SAing her. Disturbingly, she told police that he actually had a young son who lived at the house with him. When Timothy had taken his young son to school the one day, she used it as her opportunity to escape. Police made their way to the home of 39-year-old Timothy Haslett Jr. and found the property did in fact have a basement like the woman described. Timothy was arrested and is facing 9 charges including first-degree kidnapping. He's being held on a $3 million bond and faces 5 life sentences. Before his arrest, police were actually called to his address 3 times. Twice they were asked to do welfare checks, and this was from an employer and also family members. Police have searched his home with cadaver dogs and they haven't yet released what they know.
How didn't they find her those times when the police was there? The hell?
Hello.
Skinwalker is getting weird, bro. It's like a dog, right?
Vultures everywhere. It's odd.
Okay. I don't want to leave. What the fuck? Where the hell are you going? They didn't want to leave. What the fuck? Survivable things, okay. What? How the hell he do that? Yeah, this.
Seattle, Washington. On the 19th of June 2020, a group of friends are using an app called Randonauting. This app gives totally random coordinates for the user to go and follow and then report back what they find. The friends were given coordinates which led them to Alki Beach Pier, where upon arrival they discovered a black suitcase. They go to investigate the suitcase, joking on that it could be filled with money, but as they got closer to it, a disgusting smelling odour just radiated from it. When they opened the suitcase, it amplified and they described the smell as overwhelming. Upon opening the suitcase, they found that it was not filled with money. However, it did have several things inside that were wrapped up in bin bags. One of the teenagers, being very responsible, decided to call the police and report the findings. When officers arrived, they almost immediately cordoned off the area and asked everyone to leave. This is now a crime scene. Inside the suitcase, they found the dismembered remains of a human body. Searches were carried out all around the area where the suitcase was found, and these searchers turned up several more bags, all of which had more dismembered human remains inside. It was established that the bodies of a male and female had been found. 11 days later, their bodies were identified. They had found 27-year-old Austin Wenner and 35-year-old Jessica Lewis. It was determined that both Austin and Jessica had been victims of a beating before being fatally shot. Austin had been shot 7 times and Jessica had been shot once. It was estimated that they had died 10 days prior to being found. Jessica was a mother of 4 who worked caring for disabled adults, and this just reflected the type of person she was. She was described as kind, caring, and just a ray of sunshine. She and Austin had been in a happy relationship for around 8 years, and although her 4 children were not fathered by him, he still loved them and he brought them up as if they were his own. Austin was someone who had a big heart and a love for the outdoors. He loved all things camping, dogs, trucks, country music. They lived together in a room that they rented off of 63-year-old Michael Dudley, and it was in this house that they were last seen alive. Now that investigators knew their victims, they were able to properly start finding out what had happened to them. Phone records show that one of them from the couple had had a phone call with Michael only 7 minutes before their phones shut off and weren't used again. On the night of the murder, a neighbour of Michael's had rang the police saying that she had heard a man pleading, quote, "Please don't do this, just let me leave," before she heard several gunshots. When officers arrived to the house, it was in darkness and there was no movement inside, so they thought no one's home, so they simply turned around and left. On this same night, a new tenant of Michael's arrived at the house. This was 1 hour after police had been there and Michael was home and let her in. She noticed that in one of the rooms it seemed like someone was lay on the floor and not moving, that there was clothes thrown over them in order to try and disguise that they were there. She noticed that this person had a bloody arm and she questioned Michael about it, to which he responded, quote, "My gun worked and his didn't. Now please move along, I have a mess to clean up." She also noted that his glasses were broken and it looked like he had fresh scratch marks on him. On the 19th of August, Michael is arrested and his house is searched. During the search, there was a thick smell of bleach around the house and one of the rooms seemed to have been recently redecorated, having fresh paint on the wall. There were bullet holes in the walls and they also found blood in the room that the new tenant had said she saw someone on the floor. Michael's arrest shocked the community as he portrayed himself to be a very soft, sweet and helpful man, but that was very far from the truth. Michael had a criminal record dating back over 20 years. His record consisted of things such as trafficking, grand theft auto and possession of drugs. His own daughter even applied for a restraining order against him after he sexually assaulted her over a period of 9 years. In December 2022, Michael was found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree murder by a jury. The jury took only 1.5 days to deliberate. It's believed that Michael had murdered Austin and Jessica because they couldn't afford their rent for the next month, and they were paying $1,500 in rent just for one room. He was clearly very much taking advantage of them. Only last week, on the 8th of April, Michael was handed a 46-year sentence.
Will pay you $20,000 if you can make it all the way through, but if you think that's an easy paycheck, you should know there's a reason why nobody's ever won. The McCamey Manor looks like a pretty normal house on the outside, but on the inside is where the nightmares live. The house takes about 8 to 10 hours to complete, but the longest someone's ever lasted is only 6 hours. That's because participants are physically tortured to the point where they can only be released if they're deemed to be on the brink of death. Participants are punched, slapped, have their hair ripped out, and are forced to eat disgusting things like rotten eggs. And participants are even waterboarded, which is a torture method that the CIA used to use but stopped because it was too brutal. You're probably wondering how this is legal. Well, the house is run by a man named Russ McCamey, who gives all of his participants a 40-page waiver that they have to sign, which details that they could be fatally injured. Even though people have suffered broken bones, irreversible mental trauma, and heart attacks in the manor, it's still deemed legal. At one point, a Navy SEAL decided to go to the manor to see how much torture it really was. Reportedly, after 6 hours, he was still ready to charge on, but Russ kept dunking him in cold water and said he had hypothermia and disqualified him, which has led people to believe that there actually is no prize money, and petitions have been made to shut this place down. It's literally a torture chamber, but because it's free and a ton of people get bored, there's a wait list of 25,000 people waiting to try this out. Every experience is fully recorded and posted on YouTube, but I can't show any footage here because it's way too graphic.
It has to be capped, because that Navy SEAL, man, like, he was 6 hours in, he still wanted to go, but he decided to end the challenge. That's cap. Probably ain't no freaking prize money involved.
Horrifying facts that will ruin your day. Around 250,000 people every year die of complications during surgery. So you might go into a surgery and never wake up again. There are over 200 different corpses at the top of Mount Everest that will never decompose. If you die in your own home, your fluffy cat will eat you in order to stay alive. Believe it or not, there is a tumor out there that can grow hair, teeth, and even eyeballs. A human head remains conscious 20 minutes after the head has been decapitated, which means that you can still see and hear after your head is chopped off. Follow now and get 100 puppies on your doorstep because you know they won't eat you, unlike those cats. Hey, thanks, guys.
I bet you didn't know this creature once existed, and you're glad it's extinct. For now. This is the Titan boa. Scientists say that if the Earth's temperature rises, it's possible that the Titan boa could come back. This is the biggest snake to ever exist, at 42.7 feet, weighing in at 1.25 tons, or 2,500 pounds. It's about 60 million years old. The Titan boa was found in South America. It ate very little, but when it did, it ate crocodiles, boa constrictors, cobras, and pythons. The Titan boa could crush its prey with a jaw force of 400 pounds per square inch. And let's not forget, it can also wrap its body around you and constrict you into mush.
That looks like something out of the Anaconda movie, bro. Glad the Titan boa is not around now, man. How much that would affect the ecosystem? Earth would be looking a whole lot different, man, if that predator was still around.
The disturbing, still unsolved case of Mr. Cruel has kept me up for quite a while. Mr. Cruel was responsible for 3 attacks between 1987 and 1990 in the suburbs of Melbourne, Australia. During all of his attacks, he wore a balaclava to cover his identity. In each attack, he broke into the house either very late at night or early in the morning and tied up either all of the family or some members of the family. But in each case, the target was unfortunately the family's young daughter, who was between the ages of 10 to 13 depending on the case. In 2 of the cases, the young daughter was actually abducted and kept out of the home for hours before eventually being returned. In 1988, he abducted a 10-year-old girl and released her 18 hours later, and in 1990, he abducted a 13-year-old girl and released her 50 hours later. Authorities also think that Mr. Cruel might be responsible for the 1991 killing of 13-year-old Carmen Chan. Chan actually went to school with another one of Mr. Cruel's victims. Sadly, unlike the rest of Mr. Cruel's cases, Carmen Chan did not return with her life. But like I said, this case has not been definitively connected to Mr. Cruel. Disturbingly, Mr. Cruel is believed to have taken photographs or even videos of his attacks. His attacks were very thought out and well planned, and authorities think that maybe he stalked those particular families before he attacked them. All of his planning has sadly made it a lot more difficult for authorities to track down his true identity. Some of his victims have given accounts of what his house looked like this picture of what his bedroom looks like. But because he was wearing a balaclava over his face, there's not many identifying details to be known. However, as of recently, as in March of 2022, there have been some possible links made between the attacker and the electrical industry in Melbourne. Mr. Cruel's second victim was dropped off near an electrical substation, and 2 of Mr. Cruel's victims also lived near substations. Carmen Chan's remains were also found near a substation. And additionally, Carmen and one of Mr. Cruel's other victims both attended that same school, which was across the road from a substation. Perhaps Mr. Cruel was a substation employee or he lived nearby. Sadly, this is about as much of an update as we have right now. The official task force about finding Mr. Cruel's identity was sadly disbanded in the 90s, but if any more information comes to light, authorities are very interested in looking more into it. If you lived around the area during this time, what are your thoughts? Do you remember any of the craziness going on in the newspapers? I know some people mentioned in the comments of my original video that they were terrified as they were children at the time and were scared that they and their families would be targeted by Mr. Cruel. If Mr. Cruel is still alive, I think the world is ready for some justice. And so for the sake of the families involved, I hope 2022 is the year that we finally solve the Mr. Cruel case.
We ain't solve it. He's still out there.
You guys are not ready for this. And if you're new to my page, welcome to Creepy Talk. This girl had recently just turned 16 years old, got a car, and could finally drive herself to school. So it's midweek, a beautiful spring day, and this girl just wakes up and starts getting ready for school. She puts on her clothes that she had laid out the night before, which was a floral t-shirt and jean skirt. She then goes in her mom's room, who happens to be putting on makeup. She tells her to use purple lip gloss because berry colors looked good with the eyeshadow that she had picked out. She then kisses her cheek and just casually tells her that her part-time job is serving meatloaf that night. After she leaves her mother's room, she goes in the kitchen and sees her dad. He happened to be peeling an orange, so she took a slice from him. They then had a conversation about how they both agreed that organic oranges tasted better and that her mother should buy them more often. She then pets her dog, he drools all over her shoes, and she calls him nasty. Grabs her backpack, her pencils fall out, she picks them up, and leaves. Her drive to school was on a 2-lane road that had a drop-off on either side. She's jamming out to the song Oughta Know by Alanis Morissette, and suddenly she sees a Yukon coming down the hill straight towards her. It drives into her lane, and she swears this person had like no eyes. She said all she saw is a white-skinned person, no eyes, no hair. She swerves into the other lane, it also swerves into the other lane, and they get in a head-on collision. She opens her eyes after the crash, and she is back in her bed. She thought to herself that was really real, but she just chalked it up to be a dream. But then she sees that her same floral shirt and jean skirt are laid out, so she puts them on. She goes in her mom's room, and her mom's doing the exact same thing with the exact same makeup. And they had the same conversation. She then goes in the kitchen, and her dad is peeling an orange. Same conversation. She then pets her dog. And you guessed it, he drools on her shoes. She then gets her backpack, and her pencils fall out just like in her dream. So at this point, she goes back in the kitchen and tells her dad, "I'm not feeling well, I am not going to school." Her gut was telling her that something was wrong. So she goes back and lays down. About an hour later, her mom calls her from her office. She tells her that there was a terrible crash on the road that she would have been driving on the way to school, and it's a good thing that she stayed home because it could have been her. She then goes on to say, "It was the weirdest thing ever. I have always felt like God or something has had a hand on my back guiding me." But she has never told anyone about this experience because she feared that they would think that she's crazy. She says, "But it's completely true and completely reality to me, and I'm very thankful to be alive."
So she like sensed it, or she sensed something was coming, or she dreamed it before it even happened. That's your gut feeling, man. Trust your gut. If your gut's telling you that something might happen or it's not feeling right, trust it. Like that too, man. In many cases, I don't know what that's called. It's like a feeling or something, man, you just can't explain, but you know when something's not right.
These kids went exploring, and they think they might have stumbled upon the real-life Fredbear's Family Diner. Now, in this footage above me, it shows two kids exploring a abandoned building. But it's what they find in this building that makes them question everything. As they're exploring, they begin to see a bunch of weird things, like an old animatronic, weird paintings on the wall, and voices from the walls. Now, this is only 5 minutes into their exploration, but they look through a peephole in the wall and they see two glowing eyes, just like the ones in Five Nights at Freddy's. So they leave, but when they go back for a second look at the place, you won't believe what they see. Hit the plus button for part 2.
They really found Freddy Fazbear?
These kids went exploring and they think they might have stumbled upon the real-life Fredbear's Family Diner. Now, after their first exploration, they go again just to see if they will find anything else. Now, this building is in the middle of nowhere, so they get lost looking for it again. But when they eventually find it and walk inside of it, things are different. There's new painting on the walls, and a bunch of other weird noises coming from within the building. And the old animatronic they stumbled upon from their first exploration is now gone. In the footage, they're exploring, and this is right when they leave the room in which the old animatronic was in. Here is the footage. For some reason, they begin running and panicking in extreme terror, and then the video shortly ends. What do you guys think happened? Comment it in the comment section, and hit the plus button for more scary videos just like this.
They stumbled on something they wasn't supposed to see. Fazbear trying to take him out.
Yo, Fed, you good, bro?
Yeah. It's just hot, bro.
Hot? Yo, Pharaoh, are you sure, bro?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yo, bro, you need to go to the doctor?
No, we good. We good.
Alright, bro. Yo, bro, are you good?
Yeah. It's hot. It's just water.
Alright, bro. Yo, bro, are you good?
Yeah.
Alright, bro, let's go. Come on now, bro.
Yeah.
Parents of Reddit, what is the creepiest thing your young child has ever said to you? I was tucking in my 2-year-old. He said, "Goodbye, Dad." I said, No, we say good night. He said I know, but this time it's goodbye. Had to check on him a few times to make sure he was still there. My kid's Catholic school is over 100 years old. There is a basement under the gym that's used for storage. I was subbing once and during recess one of the kickballs goes down the stairs. A little girl was standing at the top of the stairs yelling, "Just throw it up to me." I went over and asked who she was talking to and she replied, "That big man down the stairs." I went down and there was nobody down there and it was the only way in. I asked some of the other kids if they have seen the man before and they said yes, but sister told us not to talk to him. I asked them to describe sister and they described the nun and there haven't been nuns at the school in 40 years. Go back to sleep, there isn't anything under your bed. Has behind you now. Still haven't gotten over that one and shiver at the memory.
Some creepy stories, man, that those kids seen or heard. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up in this video. Comment down below. Hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.